Hi, you guys. Lady Rochelle here, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is day 8 of the breast cancer awareness facts, 31 days for the 31 days in the month of October, which is in recognition of breast cancer awareness. So I'm going to bring 31 facts to you. We are on day 8, so this is fact number 8. So do me a favor, please like and share the video. Invite somebody else in on the video so that they can get this information. Share it out to your friends and family whom you love so that they can get this information and turn their awareness into action. So we've been talking about a variety of subjects, different facts that you can take along with you on your journey called life. And tonight we're going to talk about survivorship. So survivorship for everybody who has been diagnosed with a breast cancer diagnosis. So we're focusing on breast cancer since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I consider myself a breast cancer survivor, and I was diagnosed December 18th of 2013. So that's when I was diagnosed. So that means I am seven years out come November 3rd, which is when I found my lump. So we know that right now in the U.S., there are 3.5 million women with a history of breast cancer, which are considered survivors, whether they are in treatment or out of treatment. They are considered survivors right now. That's a lot of survivors that we have for individuals who have been touched by breast cancer. So when you think about survivorship, it actually begins from the date of your diagnosis. So the day that you were diagnosed, then you are considered a survivor, continue throughout your treatment and throughout your life. So they're never going to say, okay, you don't have cancer in your body no more. So, okay, now you're not a survivor. No, if cancer has touched your life, then and you're still living or you're still fighting, then you are considered a survivor. If and that looks different for everybody. Trust me, it does. Some people may not like to say the word survivor. They may refer to themselves as something else. Some people say conqueror. Some people say warrior. So it's different for everybody. But according to the American Cancer Society, your survivorship begins at the day of diagnosis. So when you were diagnosed, then that's when they consider you a survivor, because that's the day that they found the cancer and it was identified. So at that moment, you start fighting because you went in and done something about what you found. So it can mean that survivorship can mean that you have no signs of cancer or you have finished treatment. So even though you are in treatment for cancer, still considered a survivor. Some people may say, well, they haven't survived cancer yet. They're still in treatment. Nope. As soon as you find that lump, as soon as the doctor diagnosed you, then you are considered a survivor. So having no signs of cancer or after you have finished treatment, then you're considered survivor. So many people who are survivors, they are they're living through and beyond cancer. So you may have people who may be living with cancer right now, that they are taking medicine and they have to take it for the rest of their lives because it's considered chronic. And so the doctor said, okay, you're going to be on this medicine for the rest of your life, and there's nothing they can do about it. So theirs is considered chronic, and they're still a survivor. They're still a survivor, but they're going to be taking that medicine for the rest of their lives. So again, it looks different for everybody. Survivorship is one of those things that is really complicated because, some people, they feel a different way if they're still fighting cancer. Some of them like to say thriving, like I'm thriving, I'm a thriver, versus saying, they are a survivor. And, American Cancer Society doesn't see it that way. They see you as a survivor, regardless. If you are still fighting cancer, you have cancer in your body, they consider you a survivor. So you can call it what you want. You can name it a thriver or a conqueror or warrior. At the end of the day, you have survived, a horrific disease that was meant to take you out, and you're still here. Either you're still fighting or you're living beyond the disease. At any rate, I'm glad you're here. And again, I talked about this, some people still have to take treatment. So you have your stage 4 individuals who cancer has metastasized, and they have to, maybe they're doing treatment every 3 weeks, every 6 weeks, or every couple of months, or whatever, however, their treatment regimen goes. So they may be on it for a long time to reduce, the risk of a reoccurrence. So they're managing their cancer like a person would be with diabetes or high blood pressure. They're managing their cancer that way for the rest of their lives. When you are a survivor, you do have mixed feelings, you have mixed emotions, especially when you're done with treatment. So they keep a tight rein on you when you're in treatment. When you're in treatment, they watch everything that you do. I didn't have to make any appointments. They made all of my appointments because I didn't really have to think about it. I just showed up. They took care of everything when I was in treatment. And then once you're done with treatment, it was kind of like they just like threw you off this cliff and you're just hanging and you're like, oh my God, like what just happened? Like they let you go, and now you're only, instead of going to the doctor maybe every month or every couple of weeks, now they say, okay, we'll see you in 6 months, and you're like, what? Or we'll see you in 3 months, and you're just like, what I'm gonna do, for that time being. And it's like they're trying to wean you off until you get to the point to where you're only seeing them once a year. So I can remember when my doctor, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, she was just like, okay, this is our last appointment. And, you've been doing good so far. So, go back to seeing your general doctor. If you have any issues, related to cancer, then you can come back and see me. I'm just like, what? Like my heart just sunk in my chest, because I was just like, oh my God, like who's going to be watching if this cancer is going to come back or not? Like, oh, now I got to be responsible for doing that. And it felt like a really big responsibility. And I just felt like they just threw me out there. It felt like I was naked. I mean, I get it. I understand it. They have the other patients to see that probably need, to see them more than I did. But it wasn't really a good feeling when they just let me go like that. I was like, oh my goodness, so, but, it's time to grow up. So I had to get out of there. It's a good thing. It was a good thing. So I'm excited that she did let me go versus saying, hey, I got to see you for the rest of my life. So some people, after you have a cancer diagnosis, you do have a different appreciation for life, because you realize and you see that, a lot of people don't make it. Some people don't make it through a cancer diagnosis. They don't make it through chemo, they don't make it through surgery. They don't make it, the radiation gets to them. They have all these types of, side effects, and it's just, they have a horrible experience. And the fact that you made it in spite of, you just have this new gain appreciation for life, and you just begin to just accept life for what it is. And, some of us do become really anxious about our health. We do. Every little thing, every little thing that happens or, hurt you or ache, or if you get a bruise or any, you just so nervous, and you shouldn't live like that. Like you do, I think it happens more when you first are done with treatment. You start to be like, oh my God, okay, I got a pain right here. Is that the cancer? I'm coughing too. I've been coughing like a week. Is that the cancer? Like you just, and you shouldn't have to live like that. You really shouldn't. You should walk away with a peace of mind. Once you're done with the cancer, you should walk away with a peace of mind and put the experience behind you, and know that, you've been given a second chance. You've been given a second chance at life. And put the experience behind you, but also, still be cautious of your health and go to those annual appointments like you should anyway. Just, don't take your health for granted. Just be, cautious, but not in an overly, dramatic way to where everything just bothers you and you can't really even live because, you're stressing yourself out. So, and I agree that survivors may feel some type of stress when we have to go to the doctor. It can be a horrible experience just sitting in that waiting room. I would get white coat syndrome when I would go to the doctor, and I would sit out in the waiting room waiting for the doctor, and my blood pressure just will go. Not my blood pressure, my pulse will go so high, like it would just be beating fast. My heart would be just beating so fast, and the doctor would be like, okay. So she just got used to it, beating like that. So she would just let me sit for a little bit, and then in the middle of the appointment, she would take it. She would take my pulse, because after that, I've been relaxed. But as soon as I get there and I'm waiting for her, or she's going to get a test result or something, I'm just like, oh my, I'm about to pass out because my heart is beating so fast. So, and that was something that I was doing to myself, and I just had to, sometimes I would listen to music and I would just sing to myself, or play some type of, music that would make me happy until she comes in the room. Or I'll be on the phone talking to somebody, to kind of calm my nerves. And then when she come in, I'd be like, okay, she's here. Let me let you go. Or when she gets in the room, she just wouldn't get straight to, the visit. She would be like, oh, so, you at work, are you at work today? How are the kids? To try to like just ease into the conversation versus just going in and say, okay, this test result came back, and it made me feel more comfortable, just getting there. And I got to be really close with my oncologist, and it did bother me to have to, stop going. So I was like, oh man, but, when you graduate from seeing the doctor every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, to once a year, and then going back to your general doctor, it's a blessing. It's really a blessing. It really is. So a lot of survivors, we walk away with different challenges. Everybody's going to walk away with something different. You're not going to just walk away from a cancer diagnosis and be like your old self. You're just not. That old person does not exist anymore. Even my hair is totally different. It's curlier now. It's softer. Normally before cancer, I would wash my hair and it would just be straight. But now I can wash my hair and go. I don't have to twist it. I could just go. Yes, my Leah. I'm trying to figure out what you just said. It really did. My doctor was really, she was a really good doctor, and she kind of calmed my nerves, and I really appreciate. And I think it has something. I really appreciate her. It has something to do with you two opening up to your doctor, to be, so the doctor can know that they can approach you in a certain way. But if you are really closed and shut down, and you don't really give them the opportunity to feel that they can talk to you and be more open with you, then it's going to be a straight, okay, XYZ, this is what's happening, blah blah blah, versus them trying to make you feel comfortable. So yeah. So some things that we can do that can really help us cope when it comes to the survivorship. One could be seeing a counselor, and a lot of times they don't mention that, they don't put that out in the open. But if you're treating the physical, then you should be treating the mental too, because something is going on with that mental. And if you're not treating the mental, then you're gonna find yourself maybe in a deep depression. You're gonna find yourself maybe closing down from individuals, and you're gonna find yourself just withdrawn, and not really telling people what you're going through until it's too late. So just understanding some of the challenges that you're going through. Some people may get into groups to where they have a support group to where they're talking to other people, so they know that I'm not alone in this. I'm going through, and somebody else been through it. I know the American Cancer Society have this resource that they will match you up with somebody who has the same diagnosis as you, and then y'all get the same treatment and everything, and you may be one or two things different, but then you can talk to that person And they could say, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I had stage 2 triple negative cancer too. Yeah, I did chemo. Oh yeah, I did this." And then you could say, "Oh wow, okay, this person had the same cancer I had, and they're doing it. They did the same thing that I did. I'm about to do right now." And it kind of gives you, a peace of mind knowing that somebody else got through what you're about to go through. So it's always important to have a support system, or to have someone that you can talk to that has been through what you're about to go through, so that you know that it's possible and that you can conquer this thing. So it's important to come up with solutions to calm your fears. And I was the type of person that I didn't do support groups, and only because I had an awesome support system, that I really didn't need a support group. So I mean, I was every Friday. I had my therapy every Friday. I would go dancing every Friday. Like, I love house music. So every Friday I would have chemo from 9 to 1. And then I would come home, feed the kids, relax for a little bit. And then I would go out dancing every Friday to my house music. And I would just be out there in my own little zone, because that was my release. It gave me my release. It gave me, that sense of peace that I needed, because I had treatment that day. So to get my mind off treatment, that's what I did. And I would just go and I would just dance by myself and just have me just a good time. And sometimes my legs would be swollen. My legs would be swollen. You do, my Leah. You have to have an outlet. You have to have an outlet. And I'm grateful, because my Leah was one of the ones, my support system, that helped me with the kids, that helped me around the house, that helped me cook, and just that helped keep me sane. You would be surprised that what your support system would do for your survivorship. I think if I probably didn't have kids or didn't have any, I may not have survived, because I fall a little harder because of them, because of my support system. I fall a little harder. So don't be afraid to allow people to help you when you're going through. If they want to cook you a meal, if they want to come and take the kids, or take you for a spa day, or pay a bill or stuff, whatever it is, allow them to help you. Because you can't do everything yourself. We try as women, we're superwomen, but we can't do everything ourselves. My Leo says having an outlet or release helps you to. I'm gonna put this on the screen so I can read it. I'm sorry. Having an outlet or release helps you to take your mind off of stress. Yes, it does. It really does. And it's like, as a woman, me trying to do everything myself, at some point in time, your body is not going to let you. Your body is going to be like, no. And my Leah is my witness. When I tried to drop those girls off at school that day, and my body was like, no, you're not. You're going to go back in this house, and you're going to tell these girls what's going on with you, because you're not going to be able to do that. And I wasn't able to do it. So feeling comfortable with whatever course of action that you take as it relates to your diagnosis is totally up to you. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel ashamed that, you're choosing to do, what's best for you. Because a lot of people are going to try to tell you what to do. But in order for you to survive this thing, you're going to have to do what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable. Survivorship serves as a strong motivator for a lifestyle change, changing the way you eat, exercising, being less stressed. For me, I know that stress really contributed to my cancer. It really did. I don't care what anybody says. It really contributed to me getting cancer. So just being less stressful, not allowing people to stress you out, or finding things to do, that will cause you to be less stressed, whether it be exercising, listening to music, dancing, just shutting people out that's causing you to stress. When I saw other people who have survived cancer, especially for like years and years, like, that was my motivation. I'm like, wow, okay, if they can get through doing chemo and having surgery and radiation, and they're here 17, 20 years later, like, I can do this. I can do this. So that was really my motivation, even in just how I eat, like not eating meat, because I know, red meat is a number one carcinogen. So not even eating meat, just, trying to even just eat a little healthier. It does motivate you to change your life. It really does. So when you think about survivorship, Toneel Jackson. Okay, I don't know why you mentioned Tonio Jackson, because if she made a comment, I can't see it. Um, if you think about survivorship, or you think about surviving cancer, they always mention remission. Like, oh, you're in remission. And I always say heal. So I try not to say, oh, I'm in remission. I always say heal, because I feel like if God healed me, my God doesn't take back a healing. So that's why I always say I'm healed and I'm not in remission. Remission means it indicates that the signs and symptoms of cancer has completely or partially disappeared in response to treatment. And notice I said completely or partially, because it could completely disappear, or you may be partially in remission. And think about somebody who has leukemia. It may be a time where they are in remission and the cancer is not there, or it's really low, and they could, when they run your blood, they could barely see it. So, but you still may have cancer throughout your body. It just may be less cancer. So partial remission could be that. You could be in partial remission for someone who may be dealing with leukemia. Complete remission, you have took tests, you have took the physical, you have taken the scans, and all of it shows that there's no sign of cancer. My doctor says no evidence of disease, so NED. So he never said remission to me. When he came in after the surgery, and I had to go back and see him because they had to run the test, the biopsy on the lymph nodes and everything. And when I had to go back to the doctor to take out my drains, he said no evidence of disease is what he said. So I was like, thank you, Jesus, for that. So you can be in remission. You can be in remission completely, or you can be in remission partially. Just depends on if you're dealing with a chronic cancer to where you're going to be on medicine for a long time or for the rest of your life, or you have passed all of the different tests, physical exams, and scans that show no evidence of cancer. The one thing that a lot of cancer survivors worry about is a reoccurrence. A lot of them do worry about that. It may be sitting in the back of your mind. Like I said, every time you may feel some sort of pain or something, you may be like, okay, what's that? Because we do know people who are 2-3 time cancer survivors, so we know that, there's a chance that cancer could very well come back. It says that some cancer cells remain unnoticed in the body even years after treatment. So if the cancer returns, then that means that, now you're not in remission anymore. It's called a recurrence. So then it just depends on, how the doctor wants to move on from there. I know this girl that was on my show, her name is, we call her Wheezy, and I call her the Cancer Slayer. She is a 6-time cancer survivor. Yes, 6-time cancer survivor. And she had it in her brain, she had it in the lymph nodes, she had it in her breast. Like, she is an awesome woman, and she's still here today, and I think she's 10 years out. Yes, so, cancer could come back, and you still have to fight. And yes, you can survive it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, because I've seen somebody who's here who has survived it that many times. So there's a possibility. You just got to make sure that you're getting in there when you're supposed to go to the doctor, and they're catching it early, and you're turning your awareness into action. You're not just aware and you're not doing anything about it. There's one thing that some of the survivors we deal with as it relates to survivorship, and that's survivor's remorse. And survivor's remorse is basically you're feeling guilty that you made it through that life-threatening disease, and you were fighting with a friend, and that friend ended up dying. And so now you're like, oh, wow. You feeling guilty because you're like, okay, Lord, why am I still here? And why did you take that person? And I feel that same way with my sister who passed away and my dad who passed away from cancer. And I'm like, okay, Lord, why am I still here? Like, what is it that you want me to do, that I'm still here and they're gone? And it does make you feel, some type of way, because you feel like, they deserve a chance to be here. They deserve a chance to be on the opposite side of survivorship. They deserve to be on the opposite side of treatment, and what you look like after treatment. They decide to be here, to see themselves healed, to see, okay, now my hair has come back, now my skin is not dark anymore, now I gained a little weight. Like, they deserve to be here to see themselves healthy again. And for them not to be here, it does something to the survivor. And every time that somebody dies from cancer, like down my timeline, if they die from cancer, it just does something to me. I'm just like, Lord, like, it makes me not even want to, spread the message that I'm spreading sometimes. But I know that somebody needs to hear this message, and somebody life is going to be changed because of it. So yeah, so I have to just be obedient. So what is your takeaway from survivorship? Survivorship looks different for everybody. Everybody, even if you get the same type of treatment and you have the same diagnosis, the survivorship can still look different. And we talked about being partially in remission or in complete remission. You may even have a situation to where, hey, queen, you may even have a situation to where you feel like you don't want to leave your doctors. Like, you want to continue to see them. So that may be an issue. Just, survivorship can have so many different elements to it, to where you don't even feel like a survivor. Once you go through all this, you're like, oh my goodness, like, I got to worry about my friend over here that passed away. I got to worry about, every ache or ailing thing that I have going on in my life. But I'm going to tell you, just don't even worry about it, because if God has you here, then He has you here for a reason. So use the time that you have. Use the time that God has given you. Use this second chance that He has given you, and take that opportunity to bless somebody else's life. Take that opportunity to share your testimony. He gave it to you, and you're not supposed to sit on your testimony. You're supposed to open your mouth, and you're supposed to share it. And I know people probably get tired of me saying the same old thing about my testimony, but somebody probably didn't hear it, or they're hearing it for the first time. And I'm just going to keep on telling it until God see fit for me not to be here no more. But my testimony, my legacy will be left, and somebody will be blessed because of it. So because God blessed me to be here, then I'm going to bless somebody else with my testimony. And somebody will be blessed by it, and somebody will take action because of my testimony. So don't sit on your testimony. Share with somebody. If you went through cancer, share that you are a survivor. Be excited that you're a survivor. Be proud that you're a survivor, that you're here to even share your message, because so many didn't make it. Millions didn't make it. But I am one of the ones who did. And for that, Lord, I am grateful. I am grateful that I got to see my grandbaby turn 5 years old Sunday. I got to be here for that. I got to be here to see my daughter graduate from college, and I got to see her get married. My son is in the Army, and I'm raising my other 3 kids. So I'm grateful, because it could have went a different way. So for that, turn your awareness into action. This is Lady Rochelle, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. Join me tomorrow, day 9. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to give you a breast cancer awareness fact. And then we're doing 31 facts for the next 31 days until October 31st. And tomorrow is day 9. Today we talked about survivorship. Share the video out with somebody so they can get this important message. Again, this is Warriors Talk, changing lives, one warrior at a time. See you tomorrow.